Good morning. Hey Nicole, Depeche, Yumina, hey Carl, hey Gemma. How are we doing? I'm aware that I am 47 minutes later than I said I would be, which always a great start, right? Had quite a busy weekend, lots of conversations, lots of self-reflection, lots of seeing what's going on for me in my world and sharing that with others, and that's been really helpful for me, but it's quite tiring, so I overslept a little bit this morning. Yeah. Okay, good to hear. Out of hospital, have an amazing boyfriend, fantastic. Very loved and supported. It's really wonderful when we have that support available to us when we aren't maybe feeling very supported in ourselves. So it's lovely that the world can reflect back to us that love and support that's always there really for us. But sometimes we may feel a little bit disconnected from it, right? Yeah. Hey Yvonne, how are we doing? Good to see you again. Hey Essie. Yeah. So what's going on for you, right? I didn't sleep at all. I have an exam in an hour. Cool, Yvonne, you got this. How long is the exam for? Just feel sad because your boyfriend left you. Yeah, understandable. If your perspective is like, oh, I really love my boyfriend, but now he's broken up with me. Maybe it will get easier when you see that, maybe what has happened is actually in my best interest. And actually, although I really love this person, when I think about myself, I think I deserve someone who's gonna really see me for who I really am and not just like leave me in the way that just happened. So it actually opens up a door of like, oh, maybe this is the best thing that happened. Maybe it's making space for someone even better to come into your life. Someone who really sees you for who you really are. Yvonne, so your exam's 2 hours. Fantastic. So you've been up all night. You've only got the 2 hours in an hour's time. So what, 3 more hours? And then that's it. Imagine you can just crash out, catch up on the sleep. Have you been up all night? Was it revising, thinking about it, processing in your mind? Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's the best thing possible. Maybe that's helping you to keep it all present. Hey, A7. I seem like a philosopher. What's the quote that resonates with you right now? Oh. I don't typically hold on to quotes from others, and if I do, well, I suppose everything we say is typically said by someone else. Is it originally a thought we have ourselves? I don't know, maybe not, but there's quite a few that come to mind, like happiness being the result of extending love, that my freedom is dependent on choosing and extending love under all conditions. Like they're the two big ones for me. They're going to stand the test of time. I'm certain of that one. The other one is more about an insight about how my experience in life is dependent upon how I perceive the world. So how I see the world is how I'm then going to experience my life. And that's the same for other people. So you can be very empathetic when you tap into how others may be perceiving things. What does it look like from their perspective? What has their experience in life been? And maybe that's why they are doing what they're doing and saying what they're saying and think what they think. Yeah. But yeah, even if we just slow down for a moment and think about how, if you're not very happy in life, if you can in this moment choose to be loving towards yourself or others, it doesn't matter. For me, when I was really struggling, I connected to my Pomeranian, and I know his unconditional love is always there for me. He's such a beautiful soul. But when I think about him and the love he has for me, that helps me to connect back to that love that actually is present within me. And when I experience that, I feel happier. And then when I extend that outwards and say, give my Pomeranian a cuddle, I feel even better. I feel really happy. So it's quite a simple thing to say, isn't it? But when you experience this for yourself, it's like, oh, yeah, every time I'm choosing to feel love in myself and then extending that outwardly, I feel really happy. That's a really beautiful thing, right? Yeah. Yeah, have I ever come to Malaysia? No, I've been to Thailand and Cambodia. I'm likely going to travel again at some point, so why not Malaysia? Yeah, here it's a beautiful part of the world. How to find your soulmate? I'm going to question like soulmates for a second here, because maybe everyone's our soulmate. Maybe we're all souls and we're all here to be in love and support of each other. So why is it that one person is like destined for you? Why would you be so limiting and so stingy with your love? Why wouldn't you choose to extend that love that you feel inside yourself to everyone? I'm not saying you're in a relationship with everyone, but yeah, I just don't personally relate to the idea of like a soulmate only being one person. I believe it's who you create it to be. Like relationships are a co-creation. It's like a co-created commitment. Are you committed to that person, and are they committed to you in the same way? If not, then it's not going to stand the test of time, is it? It's not going to last as long. But if the concept of soulmate helps you and it's something that other people relate to, fantastic. Not to say what's wrong and what's right. It's whatever works for you. Yeah. Just don't use it as an excuse to be so stingy with your love, you know? Because maybe being the wonderful, loving person that you are is the thing that's going to help you to connect to that one person that you really want to be in a relationship with. Yeah. Yeah, love's such a beautiful thing. So healing, right? So what is that you do? What is your page about? Fantastic question. Yeah. It's been quite difficult to put it into words, so here we go. We'll try it. Working with me one-on-one is all about overcoming your fears. The stuff that when you bring up is really uncomfortable. Like it often lots of emotion there. It's quite painful, but on the other side of that is a completely different life experience. You're free to do what you want. You have to pretend you don't care what other people think about you because you love yourself for who you really are. But it's pretty uncomfortable going through that process, which is why not that many people seem to want to do it in life, because it's quite the commitment. It's like it being in a long-term relationship. It's quite the commitment to wake up each day and be like, I'm gonna be the best version of myself, and I'm gonna confront the things I'm afraid of of being with. So to honor and acknowledge that discomfort, I'm here on these lives to speak about life, all different areas, relationships, health, everything. There's nothing off limits for me. Spirituality, we talk about it all here, and this is like the way you can have an experience of being with me. You can see me, and we can use this space as like a big open space in my mind, anyway, of safety to talk about what it is you want to talk about and share what you're experiencing, and in a gentle way, kind of bring up the fears so you can see them for yourself, and you can see how maybe they're holding you back. How it's actually uncomfortable pretending that everything's okay. That it's uncomfortable keep showing up for the same job with all the thoughts you have about it and how you maybe hate people you work with and stuff like that. And just being honest and real about that stuff is so useful. And that's the biggest step, really, seeing it. And then from this space, I'm going to be extending it out into groups. So as of next week, I'm going to get my calendar up because I've got it exactly in my calendar and I can tell you exactly when it's going to happen. Then there's going to be 2 groups I'm opening this up to, where 2 groups of 4. I've decided it's only going to be 4 people in each group, so I'm keeping it small for now. So if you want to take this conversation a bit deeper and be like, okay, this is what's going on for me, and share that, although it's in a group setting. Next week, the first 2 they're going to be free. After that, it'll be like a once a week meetup, and then there'll be like a monthly fee, just like a renewal thing to do. If you want to stay along for a month or longer, that's up to you then. But so next week, the first group call is going to be on Wednesday at 11 a.m. And the second group call is then going to be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. So if that's something that you are interested in, you'd like to jump on, it's completely free. It's just going to be limited to 4 people in each one, and we can just talk about anything that's present for you. I don't want to have like a strict limit for this first one, although after this first one we may work out actually it works best if we keep it to like specific subjects. So if we're talking about maybe like relationships, and or maybe if another one's related to like your work and your sense of purpose, that like we can keep it open for the first time, see how it goes, and yeah, go from there. Hey Dottie, what's my favourite colour? I mean, I'll give you a hint. It's so calming, isn't it? Yeah. You know when you get asked that question like in school, what's your favourite colour? I think when we're young, it's such an innocent question, isn't it? And we can go within ourselves and ask ourselves, but sometimes I wonder if we are influenced by others. Oh, my favourite colour is black because the popular kid's colour is black as well, so I want to be popular like him. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool noticing this stuff. Why do we do what we do? It is the question to all of this, right? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we making the decisions we're making, the choices we make? What's like underpinning our actions here? Yeah, I think it can be a wonderful revelation to come to, but also it can be quite uncomfortable seeing the truth of it, you know? Yeah. I like to ask, what's your thoughts about how the man who wears the brand develops its true worth? We're talking about how does the man develop his true worth, or the brand? I think actually in both cases it's likely going to be the same result. The perception of the person or the brand is all dependent upon how other people see it, and how other people see it is typically created in language. So if that brand is communicating what they stand for, what they believe in, what they see, what they're projecting into the future as being possible, if that's something that's compelling, the future of the brand is sustained because we're buying into that. Like, yes, I agree with this. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to support. I think it's much in the same with people as well. Like, I don't see it being very common for us to want to support people that are doing bad things. Although a lot of the time, actually, there's a lot of fear involved, isn't there? A lot of insecurity. And then the person that's taking a stand for protecting us is then who we will support as a person. So it could be a bit of a trouble then, and we can end up in a war and fighting people. And yeah, it's noticing that. So I think in my experience, the people that receive universal support, like David Attenborough, like someone that's just loved by so many for the innocent being that they are. I think that's dependent upon them being that expression of their innocence and their love and their curiosity. Like, I think David Attenborough is a wonderful example because he's loved by so many. It's difficult to hate someone like that, right? Hey Odessa, how are we doing? Yeah, Mia, I may have time tonight. I'll have to see how things unfold in later on. Yeah, I'll have to let you know. Am I ever in LA? No. But I don't know for the future. This is a beautiful thing, right? When you ask the question like that, ever in LA, you typically, in answering it, you think about what has gone on in the past, and then you use that past experience to then kind of project into the future. Well, I haven't been in LA very often in my past, if ever, actually. I don't think I've ever been to LA. I've been to Arizona. So it's like, well, why would I be in LA again? But when we clog up our future with all the past experience, we kind of, instead of having a blank canvas in the future, we have it all like painted of like not visiting LA, staying in my room, whatever else. It feels really restrictive. It's like, I don't like my future. I don't want to live for that future. Not very compelling for me. Yeah. So I thought I'd answer this question quite a deep way, because if you can see what you've been projecting into your future and wipe that slate clean and being like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen in my future, it then becomes quite exciting, because you can then consider, well, what would I like to create? I would describe it as like being more generative with your language. Can you create a future for yourself that's quite exciting, quite compelling, something that you want to be doing in the future? When you create a future for yourself that's really compelling, it's really easy to then like wake up each day and be like, I love my life. This is exciting. Even if it's difficult, even if there's like a challenge involved in working towards that future, because it's so compelling and you've created it for yourself in such a really like exciting way, yeah, life becomes really exciting. And I'm sharing this from my own personal experience, because every time my future has been a projection of all the stuff I didn't want to happen, I was afraid of happening, but if I keep going the way that I'm going, that's what my future would look like. I'll be like, what's the point? I don't want to be here. And that's the struggle then. It's like really heavy. So you have to clear the future out to then paint on the canvas that's clear, you know? Yeah. And there's a lot involved in why you're still projecting into the future. There may be fears and insecurities and trying to protect yourself, and that's okay. It is what it is, but here we are talking about it. That's why I asked that question below. What's going on for you? Because typically what's going on for you right now is it's giving you an experience in life that you're then looking out on the world through. So if you're really tired, your experience is, I'm looking at the world through my tired eyes. So you may see opportunities, be like, I'm too tired for that. And when you can kind of take those glasses off, you can look at them and be like, oh, these glasses are pretty funky. They don't fit me very well. Maybe I should get some better glasses that are a bit more comfortable, and maybe some UV tinted UV filters on them, and maybe polarized so I can not get the glare from water and things. Yeah, there's a lot of positives to being self-reflective in that way and seeing what it is that you are perceiving in the world, and then asking why. Am I famous? I look so familiar. I don't think so. Maybe famous here on TikTok on this live. That's about it. I don't know. Yeah, you tell me. I think fame is in the in what you see for me. You know, Odessa, you've asked me how am I doing in myself. Anything interesting happened? Yeah. I had it reflected back to me by a friend that, because I was sharing about something I was afraid of. Because growing up, I was taught by my dad that by his actions that it's okay to take things that have been abandoned, and that led in my past to a couple of instances of me stealing something, because I thought, oh, this thing's been abandoned, I'll just take it. And I was really ashamed of it, and because of that shame, I was really afraid that I wasn't able to deal with it. I thought there's like a part of me that I'm shameful of and I've kind of suppressed. But my friend reflected back to me. She said, Tom, you've created a video quite a while ago about how you confronted a couple of young chaps, so British, a couple of young guys that were going up to a car that was parked like in a woodland area, and from my perspective, it looked like it had been abandoned. But I went over to them and said, "Well, guys, what are you doing?" Because it looked like they were trying to break into the back window of it. And I asked them, like, "What are you doing? Are you aware this is someone owns this car? They might not be in the best place. They might have had to abandon it for whatever reason. Maybe they're struggling in some way. But could you imagine if this was your car and someone had come and broken the windows and vandalized it? Like, how would that make you feel?" And I think I really connected with those guys, because that car didn't get like vandalized or broken into, even though it was there for several weeks after the fact, before it has eventually disappeared. For maybe it's been stolen, I don't know. But my friend helped me to see that in that experience of me going up to and confronting them, that actually I've overcome that fear, that insecurity, because I see what the right thing is to do now. And when that insecurity was like brought up in the way of like something in front of me presenting itself that I would think normally, oh yeah, that's fine, they can do what they want, it's been abandoned. I'm like, no, actually, let's take a stand for what's right and what I believe to be right. And it's like closure. When my friend brought that up for me, she said it like in such a loving way. I was like, you're right, you're absolutely right. It's not something I need to hold on to as being I'm afraid of anymore. Yeah, this is really, really wonderful. Sandra, you did ask a question earlier. And someone has mentioned it, so let's go back up. I often miss questions you ask. I can't really see it. Maybe it's blocked. Who knows? But where am I from? UK. Live in Weston-super-Mare. I've been single for 12 years. Yeah. When you have a problem with anything, maybe we'll dive into actually like what you're experiencing. I know listening to me here, it's quite like a generalized thing. I'll have some tea first, obviously. Your perspective is everything. I'm saying that because there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your perspective. How you view the world, how you view, I've said relationships a few times in this live for some reason, so we're talking about relationships today, it seems. How you view things is exactly as it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have a problem when you become aware of how that view isn't really helping you. Like there's something you're finding uncomfortable. Maybe you're afraid of being single for a long time. Maybe you're afraid of your partner cheating on you or something. Like it doesn't matter specifically what it is, but that comes up to your awareness, typically based off like past experiences that help you to form your perspective now. So if you're worrying about something, there's a reason for it. You are right to be concerned, and you have every reason for doing that. And for other people to say, just don't worry, that's so invalidating because that's not your experience. The truth, though, is that your perspective is just a perspective. It's not like a factual, this is the absolute truth. Another person in your situation may have a completely different perspective on it. And when we can bring up our own perspectives and share what's going on for us, which is why I've even asked this question, you can perhaps for the first time see for yourself what your perspective has been. And in conversation with other people, you can see, well, oh, that's what their perspective is. Why didn't I think of that? Or why have I been believing that this is the truth? Oh, maybe it's as a result of my past experiences, and that's okay. But actually, there's a better way. I see something different here. And that's when your problems change. Because maybe the situation doesn't even need to change. Maybe your circumstances can stay exactly as they are, but your perspective can change. And so in an instant, you've gone from having a problem to being like, there's no problem there. The problem was my own creation. I believed it to be a problem. Maybe we need to talk about this more specifically. I will speak about it from this perspective. I believed that I wasn't very good at cooking, right? And I think that really formed from quite a young age where I was preparing food for myself and I'd used like gone off ingredients without knowing about it. I think one of them, the worst one was it's either a wrap that had been there for like months or a peanut butter that had again been there for years. And when I made this wrap when I must have been like 14 or something, I felt really ill for 2 days afterwards. And I really remember it. It was awful. And I think in that experience, I then decided for myself that I'm not very good at cooking. And so that now as an adult, I come up with the realization that, it's really important for me to meal prep. I'm like, in my mind, there's a lot of fear there. And I get it. You may listen and judge me from like, Tommy, you're a 32-year-old adult. Why are you not able to meal prep, right? But what I'm speaking about here is realizing that there's a fear deep down inside that has been controlling me. That fear has been running my life. And every time it comes to learning to cook food, prepare a meal prep, whatever it is, that fear would raise its head up and be like, no, that's not safe. Remember the last time we made a meal for ourselves? Maybe that time we got really, really ill from making something. Perhaps it's safer to have something pre-prepared or get someone else to do it. And so I'm living my life being controlled by that fear, even though I know as an adult how much I value eating healthy, preparing, batch cooking. That's something I really want to do, yet that fear would stop me. I am here talking about all of this because I see how important it is to overcome those fears. I've got my lunches for the entire week sorted because of feeling the fear, going through it, and doing the thing that I wanted to do anyway, not letting that fear control me. And it's not comfortable. Do you know what's easier? It's easier to go and order food that someone else made. It's easier to not face the fear, to let it control us. And then we wonder why we're stuck in our lives, not feeling fulfilled, disconnected from a sense of purpose. Like, it's literally because you're not even living your life. Your fear is. And your fear is your fear. Like, it's there for a reason, but it's there, and it's having there's a real cost to it being there. There's a positive payoff. They wouldn't be there if it wasn't a positive payoff. In part, it is loving towards yourself to have that fear. It's protecting you. Like in my case, it's trying to protect me from being ill from eating dodgy food. But when we acknowledge the fear, the insecurity, and then it's like we can then move forward with it in a way that it doesn't control us, doesn't need to control us, doesn't have the power over us anymore. So I'm hoping that in this conversation, you can see that maybe there's fears that you are experiencing in life, just like Amelia's, the fear of being single, never finding someone. Like, you can notice your own fears, your own insecurities that you have, and own it. Yeah. I can see how, in that example, I hope you don't mind, Emile, the fear of being single is that you may never find someone. So you can see how that fear is like a real concern, but it's born because it's there within you because you want to find someone in old age. And perhaps you want to have kids. It's like there's like a genuine concern there. Like, this is what I want. And to consider that not happening, there's like the fear that comes up. So then the fear's there to help keep you focused on what it is that you want. My fear of preparing food was there because what I really want is to be healthy, to not be ill. And that fear was helping me with that. But there's a real cost. The cost for me was it was stopping me from actually preparing healthy food, which in the long run might have made me ill because I wasn't eating properly. And when you see the costs of what your fears are and what you've been holding on to, for good reason, we covered that. There's a genuine positive reason for the fear being there in the first place. But when you see that there's actually a downside to it, there's a negative, there's a cost to that fear being there, you will get to a point where the cost becomes like unbearable to be with anymore. I'm not going to put up with that cost being there. And that's when you kind of force yourself to be like, right, this is enough. I need to do something differently now. But until we get to that point, it's like, oh yeah, okay, that fear's still there. There's a bit of discomfort when I think about preparing food for myself, so I'll just order something. I'll just buy pre-prepared food from the grocery, whatever supermarket. Like, you can just live your whole life around the fear. Is this your real accent? Yeah, this is my real accent. Yeah. Yeah, Emil. So I'm saying simply drop the fear because it stops me moving forward towards it. It's very often the case, it sounds so backwards, doesn't it, that the fear will keep you from it. Because if that fear is always there present with you, let's imagine you're on a date with someone, you're like, oh wow, that you've had like a vision, I really see myself being with this person and having children with them. Maybe we're saying on the first date, but maybe it's been a few. But if that fear is still present, it's then going to be like, oh, I better not mess this up. And you go from being this really relaxed, loving, peaceful self to one that's living from the fear. And it's like quite a tension, like I've got to say the right thing, I've got to do the right things, I've got to make sure this works because this is so important to me, because in that moment you're living from the fear. And it sabotages you. Because when you're living in that constricted, fearful place, it's not very attractive to other people in this example. Like, someone will be like, why are you saying that? Why are you doing that in that way? It's like you're trying to do that just to make me happy. And in a relationship, you want to be with someone who's confident and happy to be themselves. But when you're being controlled by fear, you're not yourself. It's like you're just, it's like you're the worst version of yourself. And it gets to a point where perhaps in life you've gone through this pattern so often that you're like, oh, there's like a reoccurring cycle, a pattern here where I keep going through a breakup or whatever it is specifically. I keep attracting the wrong type of person and then they leave me. Like there's a fear or insecurity that's running you that's resulting in these creations in the first place. And when you notice a pattern, you can pick up the underlying fear or insecurity that's been running it, and then you can do something about it. But until you confront the fear, it's still going to keep running you. Yeah. It's an easy thing for me to just talk about, but that's why this conversation I want to create into groups so we can actually talk about, well, what's actually going on for you, you know? Like, because when you see it for yourself, that gives you the whole new possibility of actually doing something differently about it. If you have so many fears and enter a relationship, there's a possibility you can transfer such fear. Yeah, if you think of it as like, you have an identity. And those fears are part of that identity. And that identity is always being shown in every moment to everyone. Like, you can see me and you can see my identity, my beliefs. Even though they may not be verbally sharing them, you can pick up on it. We all can, and really look for it and listen to it. So when you are going around and doing stuff and being yourself, like that identity, and you're carrying around all your fears and everything, it's no wonder you are creating the experience you're creating, because you are doing so as the person that you are. But what I'm hoping we can see here is that you're not destined to always be that person carrying around all those fears. Like, you can self-reflect. You can notice what fears and insecurities you have. You can bring love to those parts, and you can create yourself as being like a better version of yourself. You can see that you can be more loving, kind, supportive towards yourself, others, whatever it may be specifically. Yeah. But I want to acknowledge that it's not always easy, because to get there, you have to go through fear. I'll share another really simplistic one, right? I used to be afraid of heights. I really wanted to learn how to fly a paramotor. In order to fly a paramotor, if I let that fear of heights control my life, I would not have even booked onto a course to learn how to fly it, to fly the paramotor. Because that fear of heights would have stopped me. And that fear of heights is valid. The fear of heights is there because it's trying to keep me safe. If I'm high up and I fall down, I'm probably going to die. Or at least seriously injure myself, right? So then, being aware of what the fear is and going through it anyway, be like, okay, here's what I'm afraid of. Let's give words to it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what I'm afraid of. And when I do that, the power the fear has over me lessens, because the fear is being listened to, it's been heard, it's been understood. And because of that, I'm free to then move forward. And maybe the fear is always going to be there in some part. Maybe there's always going to be that loving concern for my well-being. And my experience of paramotoring, it is always there. There's always some part of me that's like, what if this goes wrong? But I use that in a different way. I'm like, oh, okay, there's that concerned part that really loves me and loves my own safety and security. So I'll just take the extra time to prepare my kit and make sure everything's safe and make sure that the weather's doing what it said it was going to do on the forecast, or whatever else. Like you reframe your perspective and your experience. Like the fear doesn't need to control you. But to get to that place, you have to go through it. Because it's so easy having something come up that's triggering, right? Have someone say something that's really triggering for you in your life, and then be like, okay, I need to avoid that person. I need to not do that thing. I need to not go there. It actually kind of upsets me, if I'm honest, because I've had so many conversations with people that are so incredible, but they're living in fear. They live isolated in their own home because they don't want to go out where they live because of how the other people may judge them. And that fear of being judged and perceived keeps them isolated, trapped. One of them move somewhere else, move to a cabin in the woods. We're human beings, though. Like, we are so much better when we are loving and supportive of each other. And if Z, that's you, and you're sick of being isolated and feeling the way you feel, I'm here to say that, like, your experience is valid. Like, there's a reason why you think and you feel the way that you feel. But if we keep living with that fear, we're going to keep getting the same results. If we don't do anything differently, we're going to keep experiencing the same stuff. So it's entirely dependent on our choice to take that responsibility for ourselves. Because until we do, it's like the worst kind of suffering. Because you may be expecting where you move to be different, other people to be more supportive, but it doesn't matter where you go, because ultimately human beings are human beings. And don't get me wrong, there is nuances, because yes, sure, some communities are really loving and supportive and more open-minded and stuff. But the point is, even then, your fear will still control you, and you'll still be looking for where you need to be aware of other people's judgments, and you'll be seeing the worst in others because of that fear. And why I say it's so important you take that responsibility for yourself is because if you expect other people to do it for you, you're going to be disappointed, upset, frustrated, and then resentful towards yourself. And it's heavy. It's really heavy. I'm going to be really real with you, because I've had this as an experience for so long now in my like coaching as a profession, wanting to help people, but then being conflicted about charging money for it. But I don't see that it's possible for you to change anything in your life unless you are committed to that change. And I'm going to be real with you. I was so judgmental towards other coaches that were doing this sort of work and they were charging lots of money. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why wouldn't you just help people? But I'm also seeing now that, in my experience, as soon as things get uncomfortable, as soon as the fear gets brought up, it's very easy to then leave. To be like, oh, I don't want to have any more conversations now because I don't want to deal with this. And that's okay. Like, I love and respect you for not wanting to do that and to want to keep yourself safe. And how long are you going to go on like this for? How much longer in your life do you want to keep living in this way? Because in that question is the revelation that actually this has become unbearable for me. Why am I delaying this any longer? I want this to change. I want things to be different for me. In my own personal experience, I didn't really spend much money on other coaches or anything to confront my fears, because I was like, nah, it's more comfortable just staying this way. It's more comfortable living the life as if I've known it this whole time. Yeah, it works for me. I'll be all right. But I look at my future, the projected future from that place. I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't want to still be doing this. I want so much more. So how do I get to so much more? Oh, I need to overcome the fears. Then I'm committed to the so much more. And in that commitment, I'm doing this work. I'm having the conversations that are uncomfortable. I'm sharing what's really going on for me. and things are changing in such a beautiful way. So I'm going back to why this has been difficult for me is because I was trying to run a business over this, helping people overcome fears. But I can't commit you. Only you can commit you. And I think part of that, for whatever psychological reasons why, the commitment we have to something, once we spend money on it, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm in now. Even when things get uncomfortable, I've spent money in this, we're going to make this work. Because I've tried stuff like saying, oh, I'll give you like a complete money back. Because I don't care about the money. I just want to help. But I've seen how that takes away your ability to take that commitment for yourself. It's like, oh yeah, Tom said he'll just give me my money back if it doesn't work. So even if it is a large amount of money for me right now, like, oh, I'll just get it all back at the end anyway because this isn't going to work and I don't want to go through the discomfort. So I'm like, so I get it now. I get also why I had the judgment of people that were doing this and charging as much as they were doing for it. But I'm going to let the results speak for themselves, you know? Hey, Nathan. Wanting things to be different is what hope, faith, and belief are. It's the source of suffering. Yeah, it's interesting how when you look back and see it, it's like, oh, it's all self-created. I was suffering because of what I had created in the experience for myself. And it's such a... I'm laughing, but like maybe in the position where you're like, Tom, I don't see it the way you see it. That's okay. Yeah, it's just so innocent though. Seeing the innocence in it, like we create it in that way in order to survive, to get to where we've got to. It is what it is now because it was what it was then, and that's okay. When I really think about, is my life how I want it to be? And that question has really wound me up because it forces me to confront all of the things that hold me back. I think about like, oh, this is where I want to be, but here's where I'm at. I know this is all like, it's just stuff. It doesn't really matter. I'm detached from it, but it makes the example quite poignant. If I said to someone like, I want to be earning £100,000 a year, I don't know if that's even the truth for me right now, but if that's what I want and what I'm earning is like £10,000, it's like there's such a difference there. It makes me feel really uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, I can see all of the things that I'm holding on to that's keeping me where I'm at. Who would I have to be in order to earn that amount of money? Who would you have to be to create the relationship you really want? Who would you have to be to experience the life you want? Like it's really quite a deep question. And the answer for me is someone that is fearless. Yeah, there's a lot there. My tea's going cold. I've been talking so often. Suffering is a way to accept the truth so we can move on. Yeah, Ella. Perhaps we need to suffer in order to be forced into making a change. Because maybe if we don't suffer, it's so easy and so comfortable to just stay the way it is, keep doing the things we're doing. I see older people all the time. I'm like, you have conversations with them and they may appear to be so stubborn, so set in their ways. And I think it's really fun of an experience now to see that, oh, they're very committed to knowing what they know and not being open to anything else because it's uncomfortable. to consider doing something differently now is going to be so uncomfortable for them to have to confront their own fears, their own insecurities. Yeah, Pterosaurus. It's like, not until a medical emergency do people then change. Not until I went through a divorce did I really take the time to consider who I am and who I'd been in that relationship. Take some responsibility for myself, my own actions, instead of blaming other people and expecting them to be doing things differently. How bad does it need to get for you to do something different? How bad does it need to get before you even consider changing, right? Yeah. Who was I in the relationship? I would say I was very emotionally suppressed, emotionally unintelligent. I was always avoiding my own discomfort. I was seeking out things outside of myself to cope. I was addicted to video games. I was committed. Even in a relationship, even before being married, in every relationship, I'm very much committed to that one person. But the cost of me being disconnected from my own emotions meant that I was suppressing things. I wasn't allowing myself to feel and share what's really going on for me. And because I was suppressing it all, it would then bubble up. I have like an emotional outburst, frustration, anger. I was distant. I was quite insecure as well. Spent a lot of time alone. I had quite a social work environment, but yeah. And the truth in all of this reflection is that no one else did anything to get me to where I am now. It was because I took that responsibility for myself, for my own experience. I saw how I'd played my part in the relationship to create the experience that I had. Getting married at 21 and divorced at 27, like that divorce was my responsibility. Hey Jane, did I find her annoying? No. I found it difficult to be considerate towards her and what her desires were because I was so selfish. I was so caught up in my own stuff that consider it being otherwise than how I want it to be, it's very difficult for me to be open enough because I wasn't even allowing myself to be open. So listening to someone else wasn't even possible for me then, really. Like I was hearing what she was saying, but wasn't going in, you know? So it's no wonder that she wanted the divorce. She wasn't happy. And who would be, being with someone that's so closed off and yeah. Yeah, so important to take that responsibility for ourselves, and because it's so easy to just be stuck in that trap of blaming others and the world around us. Oh, it's her fault. Oh, it's their fault. They made me feel this way. Get a grip. You feel how you feel, and that's your responsibility. Stop blaming other people for how they make you feel. Oh, he made me feel upset. Look, I get it, right? There's some nasty people out there in the world, but unless you start taking responsibility for your own feelings and regulating yourself, nothing's going to change. You're just going to be victimized by everyone else in the world around you. And I'm not a stand for that. You're so much more powerful than you even realize. You're allowing these people to control your emotions. You're giving away all that power. Yeah. It's true insanity. You are 100% responsible for how you feel. Nark, you're very persistent with your question. I like it. How does one let go of trauma bond? It's so painful. Well, here's the thing, right? The more you are labeling it as being a trauma bond, the more impossible you are creating it to be to let go. It's like, this is a trauma bond. This means that I cannot possibly let go of it. No, it is what it is. Stop labeling it. That's the first step. Be more curious about it. Okay, what's actually going on here? Without the label, what's actually going on here and why? Why am I in the perspective and position I am in? Why do I see it the way that I see it? What's really going on here? And what maybe is another perspective I can get on that experience? Because maybe, like you said, there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe you have that perspective for a damn good reason based off past experience, and now you are connected with someone else to try and find that comfort inside yourself. But now you can see that actually I'm just using this person to find comfort in myself, and actually I need to take some responsibility for my own feelings and not rely upon others. I think labels could be useful, right? Labels are useful insofar as they give you an understanding. Like, oh, okay, maybe I can now be a bit more compassionate towards myself because I'm taking responsibility because I've been diagnosed with something. I've given myself a label. But I also see the negative, the downside to it is you then become identified with being that label. And you can take it to the extreme. I have this, therefore that means, and it's like you further justify staying stuck. And I'm not here for that. If I'm brutally honest, and people don't want to hear that all the time. I'm not here to buy into your label and what you believe to be the like your own limitations in your life. That's not the truth. That's just your perspective right now. I believe you're so much more than just that. You're so much more than a label. You're so much more than your name. There is so much more to us than can ever be just put into words. Yeah, I don't really agree with you at all there, Terry. Love isn't right or entitlement, it's luck. An appreciation of luck is the best thing. No, love isn't luck at all. Love is a choice. You are always able to be loving. You are like literally in this moment, you can be loving. It's not luck, it's a choice. We are the ones that are choosing to close ourselves off. We're the ones that are choosing to close our hearts off. And there may be a list of reasons why you've chosen to close your heart off. That's okay. I still love you for who you are. I love you for your choice to close your heart off because there's very valid reasons you've chosen to close that heart off. And only you can choose to open your heart again. Only you can choose to be loving again. No one can take that choice away from you. You may say, oh yeah, this person hurt me, so I'm closing myself off again. Yeah, but you're the one that closed yourself off. Stop blaming that person. As painful as it was, stop blaming that person. You're giving away your power. Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of ADHD stuff being thrown around, right? Again, okay, you can associate and you can identify and relate to a label, ADHD. But what does it really mean? Where are you not taking responsibility for yourself because of a discomfort? Oh, I find it really hard to do this. Okay, what's going on? Like, let's talk about it. Like, what's going on for you is a question here because it's so important to share. How often are you even able to talk about what's going on for you? I'm creating a space next week. Next Wednesday, there's two 2 different spaces, 2 different groups, 4 slots in each group. So I've got 7 spaces in total right now. One of them's already filled, I know for certain. If you want to join a group conversation, it's completely free, just where we talk about whatever's going on for you. You'll have time and space in this group to be loved and supported in that way. Send me a direct message and let me know you want to join the group. If you just say hi, I may end up not responding because I have so many highs in the inbox. So make it clear to me. Yeah, okay. Just send me a message. What I'm going to do, if you are interested in the group, I will send you a link to the a Telegram group I have, so we can then arrange it there rather than just doing it via DMs and trying to remember people's usernames on TikTok, and it's just chaos. So I'll just invite you to the Telegram group and we can arrange it and send you the link to join there. So yeah, next Wednesday. To be fair, if it fills up before Wednesday, I may do it this week. I have the time, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how many. If you're interested, let's jump on it. The first group call is going to be free because I'm curious to see how it's all going to work out. What we're going to be talking about. From moving forward, it will likely go into a low fee, like a subscription thing where once a week we'll meet up and we'll talk for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Maybe I'll do it an hour and a half. We'll see how we get on. I'm even thinking about, someone asked about having can I watch a replay? So we could possibly record it and you can then rerun it, re-listen, Yeah. Yeah. You are likely going to see things change on my website a bit moving forward as well. I'm going to be looking at how I'm going to create more of a coaching package as such. I'm going to solve some puzzles inactive apparently. Not sure how, anyway. Hey Laura, how to get out of isolation? Well, Laura, I would start by asking you, how did you get to where you've got to? Why is it that Laura has decided that she needs to isolate? And what is it that she's isolating herself from? Because I'm telling you, all of the things I might say about, here's how you overcome isolation, here's the things you do, you take the first step and do this. No, all of that's going to fail. You might go to therapy and talk about whatever, about please help me, how do I get out of isolation? But unless you uncover why you chose to be in isolation in the first place, everything you do will fail because that choice will still be remaining. And there's a reason why you made that choice, to protect yourself. So yeah, do I play chess? I occasionally like to solve chess puzzles on my phone, yeah. Why not? Quite a fun game sometimes. Easy. Should do retreats for guys that's similar to how you were. Help them heal, overcome. Yes, that's my long-term dream and goal of even being here, is to create exactly that. There will be healing retreats in the future. My partner Alex, she's a hypnotherapist. We're going to be hosting these sorts of spaces. Very much looking forward to it. Yeah, it's going to be. It's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's part of the dream I have, and given 3, 4, 5 years ago, none of this really would have felt anywhere remotely close to being possible. But that's the point of overcoming your fears. You notice where you're holding yourself back, and oh no, I couldn't possibly do that. I'm an introvert. I can't speak to other people. And here I am talking about filling up group coaching, and been coaching for 3 years. This is you won't get what you want unless you're willing to go through your own fears, your own insecurities. Yeah. Z, I couldn't recommend a better hypnotherapist. Alex is incredible. She's so loving. If you want me to put you in touch with her, just let me know. I'll send you over. Yeah. I'm sure she'd love to have a conversation with you, like just to hear what's going on for you and share what she can do to help. Yeah. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, isolated because of fear mixed with OCD. Life was unbearable. Yeah, so, and that's okay. Like, trying to control things is normal. Like, it's what we do. If the feelings and the emotions become overwhelming, it's like we isolate. Laura, I left the Air Force after 9.5 years. After the divorce, I was emotionally broken. I was completely overwhelmed. My whole life had just been turned on its head, and I had no idea what I was doing. I moved back in with my parents, and I ended up living in a caravan. It's like living off grid. I isolated hard. my outgoings were about, I think it's about £5 for a SIM card contract, and then whatever my grocery bill was. That was it for the best part of a year. And I thought that was the answer. And I realised that what became unbearable was the experience of being isolated. And the moment I'd have conversations with people and share what I was experiencing, and they were so loving and supportive, most of them anyway, if they weren't dealing with their own stuff. And I realised that's community that's helped me the most. The fear will keep me stuck. Overcoming the fear, having the conversations I don't really want to have, set me free. Yeah. Yeah, easy. I don't know anyone that specifically works. I do know someone, but I don't know if I'd recommend them. It's a strange thing to say, isn't it? Yeah. I would ask what it is. What is it about breathwork you want to achieve? For me, I find breathwork really simple. Just I use it as a way of just going back to being present. Like, you may notice on the live a few times I've like focused on my breathing. I close my eyes and I go within, and that's my extent of breathwork. What I will say as well is you don't need to pay someone for breathwork. There's so many incredible guided sessions on YouTube. So if you check out, damn, why can't I remember that name? It's not coming up for a reason. So many popular ones. Search whatever it is you need support with, because if you just follow, I think it's breathing with Sandy. That's it. Incredible breathwork stuff. I put it on my phone, lay on my bed, follow along. I've had all sorts of emotional releases and stuff from doing it. So yeah, I think the real breath work is when you can use your breath to go within, to notice what's going on in your body, to calm and regulate yourself by bringing your awareness to it all and allowing it to be there and expressing the emotion in whichever way it needs to be expressed, and then reconnecting with that like source of knowledge within, not like living in your head anymore, you know. So if you want help with doing that, that's what I do as a coach. That's what this is all about. Yeah. Hey Timothy, how you doing, man? Yeah, Z, make sure you send me a message after this and I'll send over her details straight away. Put you in touch. Yeah. Welcome to have a conversation as well if you'd like. Yeah, Laura. Never imagined you were in the Air Force. Impressive. Yeah. It's an interesting thing to hear from your perspective, the Air Force being impressive. Yeah, thank you for saying that. I think in the past I've struggled to acknowledge my own experience of what it is I've gone through and done. Yeah. We take for granted ourselves, don't we? We think, oh, that's no big deal, nothing special. Yeah, having conversations is the hardest part. It's terrifying. Yeah, Laura, it really is, isn't it? It can be. Speaking with a lovely lady, and I was walking my dog in the park, and she was saying the same thing. Like, she's kind of preparing for retirement, and how that was a terrifying concept because it's going into a life that's different how you know it. Like you've known work for so long, maybe it's like in being in a relationship, you're going through a shift or a change in identity. It could be quite a scary thing, right? Of who am I going to be on the other side of this? Just that question alone, who am I? Yeah. Terrifying, but on the other side of it is such a like a freedom. I wouldn't be where I am now doing what I'm doing now had it not been for my experience, because that was the wake-up call. That was the Tom, you're living a life which you don't really want to be living, yet you're not taking responsibility for, and you're just going along with the ride. Yeah, so maybe we need to get to crisis and breaking point before we make a change. That's why I love that question of how bad do things need to get before you do something differently. Yeah. We love to suffer. We love to put up with stuff, don't we? Yeah. Move to a new country, new spaces. Yeah. Who do you go to when you are experiencing an identity crisis? Yeah. It's funny because in many ways I've experienced identity crisis even now as a career, as a profession. Calling myself a coach, I'm like, what does that even mean? Who am I if I'm a coach? And you like look towards other coaches and see what they're doing and be like, nah. Maybe you try it on for a bit and it's like, nah, it doesn't work for me. So then you forming and doing things in the way that I want to do it, feeling like I'm a rebel. But then I'm doing the things I feel is so important for me, and it's so rewarding. Feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Feeling the fear and the judgment about other people, what other coaches might think of me, other therapists and counselors and whatever else. It's more important that we are authentic, though, isn't it? And not pretending. It would be pretending if I went and became a therapist, pretending that I think that's the right answer. It's not. It's not for me. Nah. Yes. A lot of systems that are very restrictive, very fearful. And when you build a system or a company from the fears, even if they're subconscious, you're going to create the results that the fears produce. If you plant a seed, that's what you're going to grow. You can't change the seed once it's been planted. And that's why I see as being the issue is so many systems, so many structures around us that have been created from a fearful place, you know? So it's no wonder we still create fearful results. Yeah. Here I am trying to create a system and a structure and a business for myself that is purely loving. There's going to be the high ticket one-on-one work. That's I know that for certain. But then that work will fund me giving all my time to stuff like this, having these conversations, having small fee group coaching stuff. Fantastic. Everyone wins. Yeah, Laura, you asked a lovely question there. Freedom is really the word for real. Yeah. Do you believe in God? God isn't something found outside of ourselves. It's within each of us. And we'll have our own connection to it. And it's up to us to discover how we connect to that within ourselves. The fear, the false beliefs, is when we think that God is outside of ourselves, that some almighty being is telling us what we should and shouldn't be doing, and there's rules and stuff we have to follow. Nah, it's all rubbish. It's all about connecting to it within yourself and following that own inner guidance. There's no one outside of yourself that is higher up than you. We're all perfectly equal. So to me, it's that all religions ultimately speak to that same truth, and you may follow a specific religion, and not to say that one's right or what's wrong. They all just are, and they're all like another path that leads to the same destination. It all gets to the same place. what's the term? Is it dogma? There's lots of rubbish that gets in the way, lots of fear that keeps you somewhat disconnected, and that's okay. Again, it's another fearful creation that we collectively have made as human beings to, yeah, just see it for what it is, Yeah. I like the perspective most of seeing that you are the creator of your own experience. And if you want to label yourself as being God, then if you're doing that, make sure you're doing that for everyone. We're all equals. Everyone has that ability to control their own experience of life. And in that way, we are all creators. We're all God. Yeah. The question really is, how often are you connected to that for yourself? Or how often are you living in the fearful parts of your own mind and doing things from that place? Like, that's the crux of most of this, really. I think it's really quite simple, but not very easy. It's not easy overcoming those fears, is it? If it was so easy, everyone would be doing it. But it's very uncomfortable. You go through a lot of pain. I want you to know that wherever you're at right now in your life, there's so much love and support available for you. And that you're never truly alone. Even if it looks like your life right now is one of isolation. If you just ask for help, you'll be there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following if you have. I will be going live tomorrow at 9 a.m. at least for an hour, 9 till 10. Sometimes I go longer. We'll see how we get on. Again, if you would like to be part of a group, likely be next Wednesday, but possibly as soon as this Wednesday if there's enough people to fill it. There's 7 spots for it. And we'll talk about what's going on for you. You will have the space to be loved and supported in your experience right now, exactly where you're at. If you'd like to be a part of that, send me a message here on TikTok. I will send you over a link to join the Telegram group, and from there we'll arrange the groups and send out you the link to join the group whenever it's going to be, whether it's this week or next week. So yeah, do let me know. And if you want to have a conversation, if you've been listening for Tom for long enough and he's like, I want to actually change my life and work through this fear, then let's have a conversation. There's a link to do that on my website. These recordings are all going onto YouTube. I'm uploading them exactly as they are. So if you want to go and check them out, there's the link again on my website to go and check that on YouTube. Till next time, keep being you. So yeah. I'll try and somehow work out how to cancel the live now. There we are. End the live now. Goodbye for now.